The Privatized is a 1980 American comedy mystery film starring Tim Conway and Don Knotts. The pair play bumbling American detectives who work for Scotland Yard, obvious parodies of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. It was filmed at Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. Directed by Lang Elliott, this film marks the final pairing of Conway and Knotts. Plot: the film opens early in the 20th century, at an English country mansion, with the apparent murder of Lord and Lady Morley in their car by a figure in a black cape. Inspector Winship and Dr. Tart, two American detectives transferred over to Scotland Yard, then travel to the Morley mansion, brandishing a letter from the late Lord Morley asking him to investigate his own murder. They encounter the heiress and a questionable staff. As the two investigate the murder, each of the staff, which includes a samurai, a hunchback, a busty maid, a gypsy, and an insane butler to mention a few, are seemingly killed. However, each of their bodies disappear before the detectives can show them to the heiress. The detectives then wind up in a torture chamber, where Winship is caught in a deadly trap until the caped figure leaps out to rescue him. A boa constrictor then frightens them into a trash compactor, where they survive being compressed into a bale of garbage. Once out of the garbage, they find the heiress taking the Morley money and preparing to leave the mansion. She then confesses to having killed the Morleys for their money, as she has a gambling habit. Planning to kill the detectives and escape the mansion, she falls backward into a flower bed while retreating, where she is grabbed by the shadowy figure, who has been hiding in the dirt. The shadow scares her to the point that she faints, at which time the shadow takes off his cape, revealing himself to be Lord Morley. Morley had escaped the car crash and gathered the staff in order to gain their help in a plan to force the heiress into confessing to the murder of his wife, an attempt on his own life. Lord Morley remained dead as part of the plan, writing the letter to Scotland Yard in order to request Winship and Tart as investigators, presumably because of their incompetence, noted early on in the film. As Morley continues his tale, the members of the staff arrive, having faked their own deaths as part of the plan. The heiress is then arrested and the privatizer thanked with a gift of a very rare sarcophagus, which is placed in their car. As Winship and Tart enter their car and start driving, they get into an argument over the existence of creatures known as Wurklers, said to be man-like creatures with superhuman strength and a pig-like face. The film ends with the privatized car careening down the road as they scream in terror, due to the sudden appearance of a Wurkler from their newly acquired sarcophagus. Background: the two comedic actors Conway and Knotts achieved success on screen when they were paired in several family-friendly feature films for Disney. The Apple Dumpling Gang, Gus, and The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. Tim Conway and John Myers wrote a screenplay which became The Prize Fighter, and after its success at the box office, Conway and Myers wrote another Knotts and Conway team-up, The Privatize. Name cast: Don Knotts, Inspector Winship; Tim Conway, Dr. Tart; Tricia Noble, Mistress Phyllis Morley; John Fujioka, Mr. Uwatsum; Bernard Fox, Justin; Grace Zabriskie, Nanny; Stan Ross, Tibet; Erwin Keys, Jock; Susie Mandel, Hilda. Reception: this family-friendly film was very popular in the rental market, earning $12 million in rentals during its initial release, and becoming the most popular movie made at New World Pictures under Roger Corman.